Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live. We are from lockdown. We're on show number 14. I hate fucking. Can someone come up with another name for this other than a show? Because I hate it being called a show. Because I'm not a fucking presenter and this is not a show. But I've enjoyed my day off, man. And I won't lie, I do miss it when I don't do this this little stream here. And I'm happy that I've had people messaging me to come on. So we've got a lineup of who's going to be on for the next few days. So we've got a few more guests to come up. So without further ado, I'll bring my first one in. Say hello to everyone, Lee.
Hello. How are you all doing?
Introduce yourself. Say who you are for those who may not know, but they all should.
Well, apparently I'm the retro chef, but recently, the last few months, I've gone missing. But no, back on. Done a couple of videos. One was uploaded yesterday, so the early way is up, I guess.
That's great, man. I do try and get people on when they've just uploaded a video, so hopefully that will bring you some more traction. Because I know when you've only had a bit away from YouTube, people can forget about you. Because especially this time, because there's lots of people producing videos, filling up the feed, which is great, but you could get lost in the shuffle. So I'm glad I can get you on.
Yeah, no, it's life, playing the game of life. Just taking the main seat for my life at the minute, work and whatnot, and obviously what's going on. So yeah, but now a bit more time. And thank you, Dane, for having me on. Looking forward to this tonight. Should be a laugh.
Yeah, no worries. So we get our second guest on. It's a super striker. It's Gashead Steve. Say hello.
What up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Gashead Steve here. If you don't know me, I've been around for a while. And yeah, it's an honour to be here, Dane. Thanks for having me.
No, it's brilliant, mate. It's only because you play up front now in the YouTube rejects I've had you on.
Naturally, mate. I wouldn't expect anything less.
No, it's great to have you both on. You're obviously both YouTube veterans as well, so we'll be talking about that later. But the first thing I like to get, I don't want to say the depressing question, but the important question out the way, shall we say, and how lockdown is changing things for you. So we'll start with Lee. How have you been coping?
Well, I'm actually classed as an essential worker because I'm actually a chef. That's not just a name. I'm the head chef of Barclays Bank in Canary Wharf. And we've got about 200 people who are essential workers. So who are obviously doing everyone's pay and mortgages and all that stuff worldwide. So I've had to go in. I'm not in at the minute. I'm off now. I'm back to work on the 20th of April. So this is my second week of my 2 weeks off. So yeah, I've just been home with the kids. I've never done so much work in the garden, in the house. And I've lived here for nearly 10 years. I've done more work on the house than I've done ever in the space of just week and a half. So it's quite good, actually, to be fair. So yeah, it's been good.
Let's not say the word garden.
With the family, I mean, not like, not in general what's happening.
Don't say garden too loud because mine needs cutting still. I know I promised everyone on the stream the other day I'd do it, but Steve was making me play FIFA. That's all I'm saying.
I've got some serious brownie points with my missus, mate. I'm telling you, I'm well up in there, mate. I tell you, should be anyway.
Nice one. So, Steve, how's it been affecting you, other than playing lots of FIFA?
Apart from playing lots of FIFA, which has been great, by the way. So I'm a security manager for a press company, quite a well-known press company. I'm not classed the key worker. I'm classed as a worker that can work from home. I've also, as a few people know, I've got a nice little health issue that kind of wipes me off for 12 weeks, which is nice. The only time I've been grateful, really, for having it. But yeah, all my officers are still working at the building, so I still sort of like control that. So I'm working from home. How's it affected me? I got bored. I've, like Lee said, I've done shitloads around the house, done shitloads around the garden, and played a lot of FIFA. So it's been great because, again, like Lee, my job is quite busy and quite intense sometimes. I don't really get a lot of time to do the garden, do the house, play with friends. online and things like that. So it's been quite nice. When I say nice, obviously reading death count every day, that's not the greatest, but for me personally, it's been a bit of a like slow down, Steve, take some time off, and I've been forced to do it, and I've kind of enjoying it. So in that regards, but yeah, I've just been doing general house things, walking the dog, playing FIFA, like you said. It's been good.
I mean, yeah, obviously, myself, I've been playing a lot of games, you guys, but I'm looking at a way that when I go back to work, I'll be looking forward to go back to work again, and I've not felt like that in years. And it almost might be. My job, I'm a plasterer. I work with my dad, and I've always said I'll only do it till he's retired. I have no love for my job. It's just a job that pays money, and I happen to be good at it. So, but I will admit, I'm fucking bored. I'm bored of not being out the house every day working, having a slightly different challenge every few days. And the hardest thing is I'm not sleeping because my job is physically tiring. So I'm used to that every day, grafting. I'm not doing anything at the moment. I'm up till 3:30 on a night because my mind and my body's not tired. So and then I'm up again at blooming 8:00 ready to play FIFA with Steve. So in a way, I think, although it's obviously bad, as you say, with the death count, I think he'll give me a new lease of life of how I approach my job.
Yeah.
And maybe look forward to doing it. Or if we sat out that long, I might find something else to do in my life when I go back.
Well, that's the thing. I've actually said that I'm going to struggle when I go back because, again, it sounds like you're both in the same boat. It's like we've all got quite intense works, and it's like I get up 5 o'clock every day, Monday to Friday. Don't get home till like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and it's long days, and you just get used to it and you play through. At the moment, I'm not like you. I'm not sleeping, but I'm staying in bed and like fucking on my phone and so on and so forth. But it's like I think I'm really going to struggle getting up at 5 o'clock, getting to work, getting back into the routine when it all starts off again. But again, like you, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm usually up at 6:30, and I'm struggling to get myself out of bed. I'll get up at 8 to feed the cats, and then I'll go back to bed again for another couple of hours because I've got nothing to do, and I'm just thinking, well, other than that fucking garden that I don't want to do, I've got nothing else to do. Right, I might actually do it. I have got some retro brighter consoles. I bought a load of fucking bleach and ended up bleaching my hair and not the consoles. So
be grateful you got hair, mate. I tell you what, when it's gone, it's gone.
Well, everyone used to threaten me. You slick that well over that patch, you do, Lee.
Mate, I've got. You know what's so funny? It's obviously being a chef. I've always had a skinhead. I've had a skinhead from like 18. No, 18, 19 till about 34, 35. When I started to get higher up the ladder, like bigger roles. And where I didn't have to be in the kitchen as much because I don't actually cook. I run the staff. So where I can dip in and out and do bits and pieces. That's why I've got fucking hair now, innit?
Novabug says Steve gives it the bit cut. To be honest, I get the bick on this side bit here. I need to do it. I bick that. I don't know why. It's just the way I do it. But
you know what it is? Once you get over the fact that you look like an egg every day, it's so easy to maintain. It's literally once a week, maybe once a fortnight. Shave it all off with the clippers and then shave it. And Chris is right, and then shave it off in the shower, and it's done for 2 weeks. It's so fucking easy. But like I said, you have to get over the fact that you look like a fucking bald twat.
I wouldn't say you're blonde. I'd probably call it you're bald. I'd call it eggshell blonde. That's what I'd call it.
I like it. I'm rolling with that going forwards.
Well, my missus cut my hair for me last Sunday because I've always had this haircut. Obviously, barbers are closed, so she cut me hair. She's done a good job, to be fair. So I was quite happy with it. I was fucking well chuffed.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people not going to hairdressers after this. I mean, obviously, Steve's not been for a while, but like other people.
Well, Steve can open the hairdressers now. because all the fucking people are going to be lining up outside his gaff, so he'd be fucking laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I would like to move on. We can't talk about us trendy hairstylists all fucking night. We won't have much to say. Let's talk a bit about YouTube, because you guys have been around, coming and out. Like Steve, this is the first thing you've done for a bit on YouTube, and I appreciate you being on. And Lee, obviously, you're just coming back. So just talk about how you started YouTube and like your YouTube journey, so to speak. So Lee, if you want to go first.
Yeah, so it was 2010. My second child was just born, and we moved into a new place. And I went to a local. I've always been around car boots and everything, and I went to this local car boot and I bought a load of consoles, and I bought a Mega Drive, and it wasn't working properly. So I thought, oh, you know what? Let me go on YouTube and let me find someone who's fixing them, or find someone who's got the same problem. And the first channel I found was Retro Game Tech, which is Martin, the Scottish fella. He does you never see his face. He's always fixing stuff. I found him first, and then literally I found Tootie and oh shit, I can't remember now. There's a couple others who've been and gone now, long gone. And I thought, you know what? I ain't seen no one in Essex on the tubes doing this kind of stuff. So I started to think, oh, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. So I just literally just made a couple of videos on my laptop at the time, which were like grainy as fuck. When you watch them now, it's so embarrassing. It's like pixely, but anyway. And yeah, and then literally from that, I moved on. I met loads of great people. The first person I met was Ocarina fella Carl, and I've got a soft spot for Carl. I mean, he ain't been around for ages. He's got a lot of, stuff going on in his personal life and whatnot. But he was the first person I met. And then I met Gas and Daz on the weekend. We went to Play Nations, and I drove. Where did I meet you, Gas? It was in that pub, in it, or something. What was that place?
No, we met in the car park. You opened your boot and you let everybody rummage through, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, that's right. And then you had a couple of games off me. I think Daz had a couple, and then that's when we first went and met. The first time I saw Champion 2D Rob. Now let me fucking tell you now. You think you're big? Wait till you see this fucking geezer. He's about 6'8" or 6'10", and he was so fucking big. His hands are like frying pans. And then as he turned around, he's like, "Oh, you're right, Lee." I was like, "Fucking hell!" But yeah, I'm never gonna forget that day, because he's a fucking size. But yeah, no,
he's a man mountain, isn't he? I met him with you at Bury last year, man. He's a man mountain.
Fuck me, and then he goes, "Oh yeah." He's so gentle, I know that's like, oh, he's a gentle giant.
I wouldn't know about that. I didn't share a room with him.
Well, let me just say that. I've met, as well, which was really cool. My wife's got family in Holland, so we drove to Holland, and Wouter, the Highlander, he does the odd bits and pieces now, but I went to his house in Holland, and I know that sounds like weird, but it was so fucking good to drive to another country and go to his. I didn't go just for him, but to him, he probably thought I did. But do you know what I mean? I went there and I met him, and that's YouTube. Do you know what I mean? That's YouTube. That's the magic.
I remember Vouter. He's not as active as he used to be, but when I first started 4 and a bit years ago, Vouter was really active within the community then, doing lots of videos and that. I'm not sure if he's come over to some Play Blackpools, but I've never bumped into him. I would like to.
I met him at Manchester. The first proper time I met him, he came to Manchester with oh shit,
Mark,
that's it. Yeah, something Prime.
Lactobacillus Prime.
Yes,
something like that.
Yeah.
Another lovely geezer, and I met him there the first time, and then I said to him, "I'm going to come to Holland," and I met him again. So yeah, that's YouTube, isn't it, for you?
So has it always been a positive experience for you? Like, so I know you've had a few breaks. Was that more to do with your own life rather than YouTube as a platform?
Yeah, no. So I used to work at the Excel Centre in London, where Nightingales is. Hospital, and I worked at the O2 and Olympia in Kensington. And basically, I'll be working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. I was working my bollocks off. And then I wanted another kid, literally. I've got 2 girls, bless them. I wanted another kid. My missus wasn't really too keen. So one of our friends owns a foster agency company, fostering. And basically, we fostered a couple of kids and whatnot. So I had to change my hours to be at home for my kids and help my missus with the kid that we had. So I changed from doing 16 hours a day to doing Monday till Friday, 7 till 3:30. And I've been doing it for the last nearly 5 years. We're not fostering at the minute as a full-time basis. We're like respite, so we have the odd child come here and there who has a few issues. And that's a great thing to do if anyone's thinking about it. It's fucked up, really, the stories that you hear and all that malarkey. But literally, yeah, I just took time off because we had a little boy, and I was taking him football. He was in a football team. So like my time was just literally taken up with looking after my family and my kids, and obviously my little foster son or whatever for now. And that's why YouTube took a back burner. Not like, again, no malice behind it. Just literally, I just didn't have the time. And then obviously golf. I've got back into golf now, which I know some people probably fucking hate golf, but all my mates play golf. So having more time to myself, I managed to get back into golf, and now YouTube's, and I can do it together. So, that's it, really.
Are we going to see you playing any golf on YouTube?
Now, there is 2 videos on YouTube, right? But I've got them under privacy because they were for my friends who I was playing with. Because we do like a Ryder Cup, England, Europe against America. We get to draw the teams out. It's about 30 of us playing. And there's 2 videos of me playing golf with my mates and my brother. I've got an older brother, Paul. Carl loves him, by the way. Woodland 37, if he's watching. I'll tell you that story later. That's fucking hilarious. So yeah, there is 2 videos. I haven't made them public, but I might do at the end of it.
Right. Well, that's great that you're fostering kids. I know a family who do that myself, and I know how much work and mentally straining that can be. So that's a great thing to do. So, Gashead, can we have your YouTube story? And obviously, Novabug's mentioned that you might be a bit of a golf fan yourself, or is that an in-joke?
Do you know what? We ran Chris ran a YouTube series called Home and Away, where we were playing video games, and it sort of turned into arcade machines, pinball machines, wherever we were playing. And it was like, Home and Away. So I'd be playing at home, he'd be playing away, I'd go over to his, and vice versa. Really good show. So yeah, we mentioned about golf as well, but yeah, no, I'm up for that, Chris, whenever next. So my YouTube career history, I started my channel in 2006, I think it was, and it was literally just to search for, like, you know when you were a kid and you watch Rocky 4, and you just you watch the film, and then you sort of like fast forward and watch the fights and rewind and watch the fights over and over again.
I'm going to stop you there. The one thing I used to do with the Rockies when they were on VHS, the montages, the music montages, that's the thing I used to keep rewinding and rewatching. Like No Easy Way Out. That was one of my favourites.
That's exactly what I used YouTube for. And that was for a good couple of years. It was literally just to watch, Rocky. It was Rockies. And then a couple of years later, I made a video on a Sony Nex 4 that I bought on a forum, and it was literally just an unboxing thing, and it was to music. And I made the video, stuck it up on YouTube to get something up there, and it got something stupid like 50,000 views in a couple of weeks, and it was like, I enjoyed that buzz of seeing the views. Then I thought to myself, what can I do to upload more? And I'd done a few videos, and they were nothing special at all. And it was about iPhone cases, I think it was. Fucking shit, completely shit. But then going into the gaming side of it, I think it was I was watching the Angry Video Game Nerds, and watching a few of his videos. And then somebody underneath Fantastic Pete came up. So I clicked on one of his videos, and it was literally a pickup video. But I found great entertainment in somebody sitting there going, I've got this today, I paid X amount for it, I'm going to play it later. This is a great game. And it obviously rolls you back to the days where you were buying video games and you were buying sort of like, or you were wanting these games. So I kind of like latched on to Pete. Pete then led on to Interghost. Interghost then led on to X-Files, who's been mentioned before on the show, hasn't he? Marcus. And then it was a case of like, I was just watching pickup videos for a long, long time. I thought to myself, well, I'm going to do a collection here. So I put a video up, and it was literally me in the car with a phone, and like Lee said, a fucking pixelated 360p video, looking all sort of like weird and kind of like alien-like, saying about, I'm thinking about doing a collection. Is there anybody out there that want to give me advice? And to my amazement, I got a few comments, and it was like, that made me feel quite good. So I sort of started a Mega Drive collection, doing pickup videos, and it led from there, really. Obviously, I've done quite a lot in the community, been on a lot of people's channels, done quite a few series myself. YouTube has changed my life. That's not to sound corny. It's a case of some of the people like Lee and like yourself as well. I mean, we've only really started talking, but like-minded people, and it's kind of like there's some really, really good people out there. You know, I'm in a group with Shocks, Interghost, and people out, and it's just like there's so many great guys out there, or great people out there. There's great women as well. It's just a really nice place to be. Leading on to your question to Lee, have I had a bad experience? Yes, I have. But that's nothing. I mean that's just the percentage wise. It's like if you get 100 people, you're not going to get on with everybody. So that's my YouTube story, really.
That's cool. So you're having a bit of a break, and you're also very active on Instagram with like you're a big movies fan. So tell us that side of your interest, because that's something that I know piques my interest in. I know it'll pique people in the comments as well.
Yeah. So in regards to films, I mean, it's like I think that would be my second passion other than football. I'm a big footy nut. So films has always been with me right from when I was a little kid. Used to watch all sort of like late night films, horror in particular. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a bit, but films in general, it's like I would class myself as a film nut over a gaming nut completely. I enjoy gaming, enjoy it a lot, but I think films is really where my passion is. Got a Blu-ray collection, started collecting VHS as well, which is much more nostalgic thing. I have got a video recorder upstairs, but never watch them. It's not for that. It's literally to get the case, to have a look at the tape, make sure it's rewound, and just remember the days of going into places like Blockbusters and Ritz and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the stream, and I remember my brother having a Blockbuster card, but we rarely ever rented from Blockbusters. I remember, I've said this like in videos before, and when I've been on streams back in the day, it must have been the late 80s, early 90s, there was a guy who owned the local nightclub in Dudley called Goldsmiths. It's long shut now. It's very derelict. I didn't even know he was the manager of the local nightclub until my dad told me when we were working together. Because I just said to him, I said, do you remember the video man we used to call him? Because he used to drive around the estate. I'm sure it was on a Sunday evening, and he used to rent the videos for a week, and he'd come back. And he just got imagine, it was probably something, it wasn't Lord Mondeo because they weren't about them, but that sort of car. And you used to lift up the boot, and then you got the rows of videos that he got to hire. And I remember we used to it must have been like 3 for X amount a week. We were probably talking pence back then to hire for the week. And we used to always hire videos off him. And he'd come around he was quite trusting, because looking back, knowing how expensive VHSs was, there was probably the best part of £1,000 worth of VHSs in that boot alone. So, did you guys just used to use Blockbuster, or did you have anyone around by you similar to that?
No, so we had a video van that used to come out. A guy called I think it was Martin. He was the dad of a friend at school. He's recently passed away actually, so rest in peace there, Martin. But he used to drive around in a transit van, and literally it was one of those side door ones where you would get through the side, and he would have all the displays of videos around there, things like that. So he used to come around Monday evening. It used to be a highlight of the week, and I do remember Dad renting 2 videos. The first video was Police Academy, a great film. The second video, if anybody out there knows this, it was called Rosie Dixon Night Nurse. And unbeknown to him, it was a soft porn video. It had like
Channel
a sexy nurse on the front.
Channel 5 special.
Yeah. So literally, we've got these videos. And I was like, "Oh, can we watch Police Academy?" And he was like, "Oh, let's stick this one on first." So we sat down and watched it. It was quite apparent within the first 10 minutes it wasn't for, what was like 8-year-old kids. So that went off, and Police Academy went on. So good memories.
Steve's actually mentioned one of the VHSs that I used to get all the while. There was like, my dad used to get annoyed because I used to pick like the same group of VHSs I'd always rent the Ghostbusters film, which also had one of the cartoons on it as like a preview, one of the real Ghostbusters cartoons, and Short Circuit, the 2 Short Circuit films. I used to always rent those. But as for the old soft porn, they used to be a very popular thing, like the Confessions of a Window Cleaner, stuff like that.
Yeah.
My dad used to watch all them. And there was a series called my dad used to call it the Lemon Popsicle series. It was an Iranian series, but it was based about American teenagers. It was almost like American Pie before American Pie came out, sort of thing. And my old man used to have all them in the video collections, and he just used to let me watch them when I was probably way too young to be watching them. But I'm glad I was brought up that way. Like, I wasn't too sheltered from everything. I think it's put me in good stead. I think probably nowadays everyone's too sensified to everything, if you know what I mean, and probably why everyone gets too offended by anything.
Yeah, we had a small collection at home. I think the videos we had was Salem's Lot, which I watched and literally got about half an hour through and scared shit. I was young, scared shitless of it, so that one went to the sideways. We had Police Academy. God knows where they got it from. We had Police Academy. We had Tarka the Otter, which was a great film, very sad. We had Watership Down, and Dad had Emmanuel. I don't know what Emmanuel it was, but yeah.
Flesh Gordon, too, you just remember. I had Flesh Gordon, and there was Flesh Gordon too. I remember my dad having both of them on VHS.
Yeah, I remember those.
So
not for kids.
when I was young, obviously my big brother Paul, he's 5 years older than me, so he was always lumbered with me. So we'd go shop, go and get videos. So the videos we used to always get from the video shop, because there was like a little corner shop before Blockbusters kind of really took over the UK, I guess. We used to get Big Trouble in Little China. That was
my first VHS I ever bought. That was Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
first ever VHS I bought with my own money.
I make my kids watch it every time I feel nostalgic. No Retreat, No Surrender, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
classics.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Lionheart, which is basically AWOL, the Van Damme film.
Yeah.
Gremlins. Commando. I used to love Commando because Arnie had the gun shack. He was like a mini man cave full of fucking guns. So I always
guys,
that.
I need to go. I need to go and watch a video on YouTube. Thanks, Steve, for that. Bye.
Please turn your camera off, though, Steve. At least.
Bye.
I'm trying to think what else now. Oh, mate, there were so many films. There were so many.
I remember
films.
my local news agents also doing like where my mum and dad used to get the paper from. They had one of them carousels with all VHSs on. They were all for rent as well. And I always remember the Beetlejuice film standing out for me on that. It was like I always used to look at it and think, oh, I want mum and dad to rent that. But I don't think they really liked the guy at the paper shop, so they never gave him any money. They always used to give the money to the back. If he didn't sell papers, I don't think they'd have gone in there, if you know what I mean.
My uncle used to love horror films, and he used to live in Brighton. He died about 10 years ago now, but we used to go to his house in the summer, like for a week or a weekend or whatever, me and my brother, and he used to love horror films, all right? And we used to watch like Puppet Masters 1 to 6. They were shocking. But at the time, you thought, fucking hell, you know what I mean? Like Chucky and everything, Child's Play. The Hills Have Eyes, the original one, that messed me up. Oh my God. When I first saw that when I was little, that shit me up. Freddy Krueger, obviously.
I've got a confession about Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, growing up, I used to... That guy was also in Weird Science, the guy on the cover of that.
Guy, yeah.
He was in loads of films.
But anyway, I used to share a room with my elder brother who's like 13 years older than me. And I remember that he must have come back one night from going out drinking and he woke me up when he come back putting the telly on. And he must have been watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And bear in mind, I was only a little kid. And I saw Freddy Krueger and it fucking traumatized for years. Like, I must have been in my 20s before I conquered. And I love horror films, but I couldn't watch Nightmare on Elm Street because it traumatized me for years. And I think I must have been in my early 20s before I conquered that film. I went to HMV in the local thing and I bought the box set. And I just thought, you know what? I need to watch all these films now back to back to get fucking over it. And looking back, I don't know why I was traumatized by it, but I mean, as a kid, Dad always used to watch Jaws. And that used to petrify me. And they used to joke because if I'd watch Jaws with my parents and then you'd hear the music come on when the shark was coming and I'd go and hide behind the settee. Now, Jaws is one of my favourite films now. Whenever that's on the telly, it's one of the films that I have to watch. No matter what point it's on, I will watch it till the end. Like, so it's just weird how I've managed to get over that. But horror is a big passion of mine. I know it is yours as well, Steve. Yeah. So you've...
do you know what you're saying about the Nightmare on Elm Street is exactly the same with me with Salem's Lot. You know when the first brother gets bitten and he turns up at the window and he scratches the window and like his brother gets up and he sticks the frost in his face and he flies off. And then a couple of nights later, he comes to the hospital beds, taps on the window, and you just see like loads of smoke engulf. And he comes up to the window like this and starts scraping. At that bit, I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. The brother gets up, opens the windows, and as he gets up, he pulls his they're obviously feeding him on a drip. He pulls that and it falls down and smashes on the floor. For years and years, that smash, I didn't have a clue what it was, and I was petrified of that smash. And when I found out it was just him getting up and walking out of bed, it's like, fuck. What the fuck?
I mean, my brother used to, like, again, when my parents used to go out on the weekend, my brother was probably lumbered with babysitting me, much like you said your brother was, Lee. So, like, he'd get his friends round because he'd obviously say, I can't go out, I've got to look after my brother. So him and his friends would come round. I remember we used to order pizza from this company called Dialer Pizza. It was like a yellow phone on top of a car. Best pizza ever. I've never had a pizza as good since they went bankrupt. But they'd watch VHSs or films. So I'd be sat there as a young kid having to watch. I remember American Werewolf in London. They made me watch American Werewolf in London, watching the guy who's half ripped to shreds stood next to the bed. And I'm like, oh my God. Because like as a kid, you don't differentiate. That's not fucking real. You know what I mean?
That is a guy ripped to shreds inside the bed, isn't it?
But that's part of the fun as a kid. You know, like my brother's shit scared of horror movies. I don't give a fuck. I know he's watching this, so he was scared as fuck as horror films. So we used to always watch the ninja films, any samurai, ninja, fucking martial arts, supernatural kind of thing. Like, but anything horror, it used to scare him. So I used to wind him up, man. Fuck, good times.
I mean, fucking horror films. I've been watching some of the ones I've mentioned to you, Gashead, when we've been playing FIFA. What I've been watching on Amazon Prime. But there's one I watched probably the back end of last year when we went to close Mum and Dad's caravan, and I saw it mentioned. Like, I like watching the really shit produced ones, like, and it was called Grizzly. It's about a bear. Like, I like creature features, so like stuff like Jaws, etc. Like if it's got a crocodile or a shark in, I'm fucking watching it. Unless it's really bad CGI, I'm really prejudiced against CGI.
Sharknado.
I like Sharknado.
Yeah.
I don't like fucking the ones that am like. There's two ways I will turn a film off: if it's got really shit CGI that looks like it's been done on fucking Windows 98,
Yes.
or if they use like like when I watched one the other day about like another grizzly bear attack. It wasn't grizzly, but like when the bear was like meant to be in, they just like obviously put something from Natural Geographical and put it fucking in. It was clearly not in the same fucking area as them or anything. But anyway, if you ever watch Grizzly, there's a scene where it's attacking this woman in a hut, and you can see it clearly tell it's a man in a fucking bear suit reaching in, fucking attacking her.
Oh, brilliant.
But I love stuff like that. Like I was saying to you, like I remember the old man going to like like there used to be a local warehouse and it got like one of them mesh baskets just full of VHSs, like $2.99 each. Like he used to buy me. Like he used to have all American wrestling. It was not WWF. It wasn't flipping W. It wasn't the worst wrestlers you've ever fucking seen in your life. And he used to go, "Here, I've got your wrestling." And I used to go, "What the fuck is that, man?" It looked like he'd been filmed on some fucking someone's camcorder or something, like shaky vision.
But there was always one film that my brother did watch, and it was like banned across the world or whatever. Bad Taste. It was a film made in New Zealand.
Yeah, that was
what's his face?
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, and that's
Peter
a really good
Jackson,
film. That's a really good. We watched it. I never because there's a scene where the geezer chainsaws through the alien, and he comes out through his arsehole. And like there was like cut on all this. I'll never forget that film. That was a fucking good film back then.
There's another film, Brain Dead. You seen Brain Dead?
Was his one before Bad Taste, wasn't it? Or was it the one after?
No, it was after Bad Taste, but
Scanner Cop.
Brilliant.
You see Scanner Cop, Steve?
Yeah, I've seen Scanner Cop.
That was when the head blows up and stuff. That was pretty much. And
that's Scanners.
Scanners is when the head blows.
Sorry.
Yeah, Scanners with
Scanner
what's
Cop,
his name
some
from
other
V,
shit one,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Other shit. Gas, have you got a guilty pleasure film then? One horror film or one movie that you think's your guilty pleasure that you think, oh, I shouldn't be fucking watching this, but I'm gonna watch it.
I've got one, and I'll tell you after Gashead.
Well, we were talking in the FIFA WhatsApp group the other day, and I'm big into musicals, So one extreme or the other, and it's literally like horrors scaring the shit out of people, or big fancy sort of like acts of sort of like dancing and singing. It's not really a great. It's not really a guilty pleasure because the film is fucking amazing. It's The Greatest Showman. I mean, what a great film! What a great film. No, I mean, guilty pleasures. I like what I like. I don't class them as guilty. I do class musicals as guilty because it's like I am. When I say I am a man, it's like I'm into football, I'm into drinking, into boobs and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm a man, and men don't really associate themselves with musicals, but I love them.
I'm going to completely expose myself and tell you what mine is. Do you remember the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet film?
Good film.
That is my guilty pleasure. And what's really weird is they made me watch that at school as part of doing Shakespeare at school, and I hated it. And then a few years later, I mean, I'm probably going back to my late teens. I was dating this girl, and I thought I need to get some DVDs for us to watch together because she's not going to want to watch my fucking horror films and stuff. So I bought the fucking Romeo and Juliet film, and I loved it after that. And I've still got that copy now. It's like the slipcover one, and I think it's the guy who's in Lost who plays Mercutio. He just has me in stitches in that film.
Yeah, I know the one. And that's actually a good film. I love the way they change. Obviously, it's all 1990s, whatever, but they've all got the guns, the Berettas with the Capulet and Montague on the bottom of the Beretta. That was cool. I remember all that. That was great. So,
yeah,
I mean,
that's as close I'd have to guilty pleasure. But I've got a story about Bad Taste as well, because again, me and my mates, probably late 90s, early 2000s. So like VHSs were still about. They were much cheaper, if you remember, than the DVD equivalent. So if you'd still got a VHS player, you'd buy the VHS. Well, we used to go into a shop in Dudley called Amsterdam. Now this shop, I'm going to tell you. Bear in mind, we were all late teens, early late teens, definitely. This shop was marijuana. It was selling marijuana and all the stuff you needed to grow marijuana, grind marijuana, and it was blatantly advertising it. The only thing it didn't sell was actually marijuana, if you know what I mean, because they couldn't sell that. But in the back, there was like a little corner that was just full of VHSs. Like, obviously, what would happen is people must have bought VHSs into trade to buy stuff that they wanted to smoke. So we used to always go in there, and it must have looked dodgy that we were going in to buy marijuana or weed or whatever. But the truth was, we were going to buy all the cheap VHSs. But the guy would never ever sell us Bad Taste because he said we didn't look old enough to buy it. I said, but you'll let us buy any other product you've got in here, but you won't tell us any of your 18 videos. And he got Bad Taste, like proper big box version of it. And I wish I'd have bought that because I'd still have that now because he had got the alien on the front doing that, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Fuck, you know. But I always remember as well, like we'd go in that shop, like you'd be looking around before you go in. And then when you come out, like you'd send one of you out looking out to see there was no one who you knew around. But the truth was, we were just coming out with VHSs in the back.
Okay, no.
So we'll move on to a bit of gaming. Although the VHSs in the film seem to have been popular in the comments, there's like lots of people having memories and stuff like that. So let's start with Lee, your gaming journey. When did gaming first start into your life, and where is it now? And then we'll get on to Gashead's journey.
So again, my big brother, he got Spectrum 48K, and we had Barbarian and Last Ninja and fucking hell, Jack the Nipper. I can't remember all the names now, bro, but all the like the game Midnight Resistance. So he used to play and I used to watch. I was allowed to sit and watch with him. I couldn't fucking play it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I used to have to sit there and wait for it to load. I'd say, he'd be wait there, Lee. When it comes on, tell me. He'd be in the other room watching the telly, and I'll be fucking standing there like a tit, waiting for it to come on the screen, innit? So, fucking hell. Different story now. So yeah, then I got a Nintendo NES, which I've still got. Got the Turtles one. I don't know how old I was, maybe 88, 89, maybe 90. I'm not sure when that come out. I still got it. And then literally between me and my brother, we pretty much had every console up till now. So right now I've still got all my consoles from when I was a kid. I inherited obviously my brother's ones because we end up, going out and stuff and whatever. So like now I've got pretty much every console that I want. I haven't got some of the obscure ones like the Amiga 32X or Atari Jaguar, but I've got no real nostalgia for them because they wasn't really ready available when I was young. All my mates, because I'm 37, so I'm 982 massive. So my age group was all Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. So, and there was a few people with Neo Geos. And I'm trying to think what would have been big. And then PS1s. I've just accumulated everything that I've had when I was a kid, and now I've just grown and grown. I mean, I'm scared to actually ever count how many games I've got, and I've never done a room tour because I haven't really got a room, if you want to say that. I've got my man cave, and I've got like a load of games in my living room or front room or whatever room with Woodlands watching. So I don't know. I mean, all the current gen stuff's in the living room. So the Switch, the N64, the Switch, the Xbox One, the PS4, my Neo Geo Golds, and then I'm in the conservatory. Like I've got the PS3, the Xbox 360, the Wii U, and then in the man cave is Mega Drive, SNES, N64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation, like everything else in it. So I haven't got my games room to get everything together, but I am going to do it soon. It's in the pipeline. I don't know. I've been quite lucky because obviously working at Excel and Olympia, we got to do a lot of Comic Cons. So I was able to accumulate games. I've done a lot of deals with people. So funny. Being the boss of the building, obviously I was able to give food to people and get games back in exchange in it, which was quite funny. I've done it a few times. and obviously getting some people into shows, Gas.
That's a story we need to come back to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will
And
do.
arcades.
Yeah.
And arcades as well. Where my nan used to live, there was an arcade shop that had Shinobi and Dragon Ninja, and me and my brother used to go in there all the time. So I've been quite spoilt, to be honest, living in London. I've been quite lucky when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah.
I'll throw that out there. I always think London is almost like another different country to the rest of England when it comes to certain things. Like, obviously, you had a NES, man, and it seems to be anyone who was in London area was Nintendo based, because they must have really promoted Nintendo there, whereas everyone else in the rest of the country seemed to have Sega and Master System.
All my mates had Nintendo. Anything Nintendo. There's only a couple of my friends who had Segas or Master Systems or Mega Drives. But majority of everyone had mainly Game Boy. Game Boy, like everyone had a fucking Game Boy. Literally, everyone had a Game Boy. And I said this the other night when you had done one of your videos. I said Nintendo is a family-run company. I mean, I had to do a presentation with my job. They sent me away to do a course on presentation skills, which was fucking hilarious. So I had to do like a presentation, PowerPoint. I did it about Nintendo, and I found more out about Nintendo than anything else. And, you know, it's still got a lot of family values now. You know, it tries and makes games in-house, ideally. Obviously, it's got third-party companies that do it. But all the peripherals, they've always been about peripherals, about extras, about Wii's, and about the nunchucks. They've been doing things like that for years, really. But obviously, you know, they're not a mega-rich company, not compared to other, like PlayStation and Xbox, obviously. But I have more fun on my Switch than on my Xbox and my PlayStation 4, to be honest.
That's because you don't play FIFA with me and Gashead.
Yeah.
I could be the referee probably, because I ain't got a fucking clue how to play FIFA. I'm not really that good at FIFA, mate, to be honest. I could cheer you on if you want.
Mate,
Have you not watched our
don't
stream
worry.
today? We're not fucking very good at FIFA. It depressed me, that did. I went to bed for 2 hours after today's fucking session. So, Gashead, can we have your gaming journey?
Yeah, of course you can.
And also, I need to add a bit on, because Lee told me to add this bit on. How many PS4s and Xboxes have you bought?
Right, okay, so Monkey Spaz has nothing on me. Should we just say that? Okay.
Fair enough.
So, my gaming history. We have. I'm old, as you might have guessed. We had at school,
Vintage or retro? Vintage or retro, we'll call you.
Vintage, yeah, vintage. We had a BBC computer that used to come around every class for half an hour a day. So literally half an hour. No, it was about an hour. It must have been an hour, thinking about it. But every pupil would have sort of like 10, 15 minutes on it. Or there'd be two pupils used to come out of the class.
Pair you up.
So we used to play Chucky Egg, Retron, Frogger, and games like that, you know, in our 15 minutes. Not a lot of time, but we used to have a little game. So fast forward a couple of years, obviously, like with the Spectrum and what have you coming out, all my friends have the Spectrum 48K, like all of my friends. So one Christmas, I asked Mum and Dad for a Spectrum, a computer. I might have called it a computer. My mistake. So Christmas Day, me, both my sisters, open up this box, all addressed to us, and it's a Commodore 16. Right, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm really disappointed here, but I can't let on, because, hey, do you know what I mean? It's a computer, isn't it? So while all my friends were playing Jet Set Willy and fucking Horace and Ghostbusters and things like that, I was playing games like Tutti Frutti, Big Mac, and fucking Rolf Harris's Paint or something like that. And it's like, but great games. But yeah, that's kind of like how I got into games as such. And then, like Lee was mentioning, through the years, I've never really, until that point, I've never really wanted for anything, because I've always been in a position either to fund something myself, or Mum and Dad used to buy things. I sound like a knob. I'm not meaning that, but it's like if I wanted something, I've always saved up for it and sort of bought it. So I bought a Master System off a friend at work, a friend at school rather. Got into the Master System, played World Soccer, Rocky, and Fantasy Zone. I think that was my highlights on those on the Master System.
Just talking about Rocky on the Master System, the
Yeah.
only way you can beat that game is if you have one of them turbo things that you attach to your controller, because there is no way you were beating Drago after that.
Not true.
No way.
Not
No
true.
way.
Not true. But your fingers would fucking bleed at the end of it. You're right. He was impossible. Like it was literally like once out of 100 you could beat him. But great game. I mean, again, it's like you play Apollo Creed twice. Now, this is what I need to speak to you about. The Apollo Creed. Bear that in mind. We'll come back to Apollo.
All right, mate.
So you play him twice. You play Mr. T. You play
Clubber Lang for a bonus point there. That was his name.
Lang. There you go. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. And then obviously sort of the Mega Drive and the SNES. Super Star Wars was a highlight on the SNES. Probably Sonic and Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive. I'm very much like I hear a lot in the community about random games that I really didn't grow up with, and they're great games in their own. But it's like I was much more a Sonic, Mario, Zelda, Superstar was like mainstream ones where I think a lot of them got lost on me a little bit because I was when you walk into John Menzies or fucking wherever to Virgin Games or whatever to buy your games. I always went for the A plus titles, which I think I missed out a lot there. And then obviously like over the years turned into PlayStation, Xbox, 360, PlayStation 3, 4, and what have you. So yeah, I've been quite lucky in regards to like I've never really wanted for anything that I wanted as such, but I think I missed out an awful lot. It's like I never really got into like the Amiga, and it's like there's so much good stuff on the Amiga. Yeah, I missed out an awful lot to see the the glitzy prizes up here, where there's all the Commodore 16s up here, which I do think was half of sort of like I wanted a Spectrum, I wanted a Spectrum. I got a Commodore 16, a little bit disappointed, and then when I wanted a Master System, I wanted a Master rather than go for the PC Engine, which so on and so forth. So. Yeah, that's where I am really. So,
but you haven't answered the main bit. How many PlayStation 4s have you bought?
Right, I'm
sorry,
guys. No, that's fine, mate. I'm going to give you one answer, then we're going to move on to the next question. So, 7. 7, but I've still got 2 of them.
Guess I love you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
I mean, I'm as bad because we've got 3 in our house. One of them is broken because it fucking just keeps overeating. But I've had 2 because I had the PS4 Slim for myself, and then obviously when I started doing my CEX credit, I thought, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity to upgrade to the Pro, and that's what I did. Yeah. And for what I'd have then got for the Slim, I just thought, you know what, I might as well keep it A as a spare in case someone's breaks. And B, you can I use it as a media center to watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, and stuff like that in the spare room, in the main bedroom.
Yeah, there's a lot more to the consoles these days than just like games. It's like you said, a media center is perfect. It's a Blu-ray player. So again, if you get an Xbox, it's a 4K player, wherever you want it for. So, but yeah, Lee's quite right to bring up that because I've bought and sold shitloads. All good.
Well, at least you keep rebuying the same things. You're not like Cojones. He keeps completely changing his room from one year to the next. That's why he might as well start a new channel each time. Or he does that actually, doesn't he?
Cojones Filoro 8.0.
I've just got back all my games collection.
That's what makes him happy.
Yeah. Oh God, no. I'm not knocking him.
Exactly,
I enjoy Dazzy's content. He's a good bloke, man.
Yeah.
But
But this is the thing, you change, don't you? Like as sort of like times go by, and we're in a position to do so. It's not like I hear a lot of things that when we were younger we could buy one game and we'd have to play that game. It's like now we're older and we're working, and you can afford these things. It's like, why not buy 5 games as long as you're paying your mortgage and everybody's happy in the house? It's like, why not?
well, I think I said on one of my streams the other day. I mean, my biggest collection as a kid was probably the Master System, and if I had 20 games for that system, that was all I had, because you never had that sort of collection on a Mega Drive as a kid. You probably had 10 of your favorite games, and like many people said, you used to trade in a lot of your games to get some money off the latest new game that you wanted.
Yeah.
Like my PS1 was exactly the same. I probably had 15 games, and they were constantly being turned over when I wanted. I'd never go and think, oh, I'm going to buy a game and just buy the game. I'd always think, what am I taking with me to trade in to get that game?
Yeah.
So what's Apollo Creed about anyway?
Okay, so like Lee mentioned about the Excel Center, Lee used to message me every year. We used to go to like what was it?
It was London Film and Comic.
London Film and Comic Con, right?
So this Carl Withers we're talking about.
Carl Withers, yeah.
From Predator as well.
Yeah, that's the one. So we arranged to meet up. Lee used to sort of like come down and let me in the back entrance. Okay, sorry, my bad. Let me in the back door on the fire exit.
I don't work for that company anymore, so you're fine.
There you go. So literally queues and queues of people all dressed up like fucking God knows what. And I used to turn up, get off the train. Lee used to meet me at the fire exit. We used to go in, and we used to go around the back way and go up in the lift. And Lee used to like show me around, and we used to get in early, basically, which was really nice of you, Lee. And I think I'm sure I've thanked you many times since. But on this one particular occasion, right, we go in the goods lift, and we go into the goods lift, and there's fucking Ian McKellen in there, the Emperor. Is it Ian McKellen? It is, isn't it?
No, not Ian McKellen.
Tough one. Yeah, no, that's Gandalf.
Plays the Emperor, in Star Wars.
Yeah. And hey, that's fucking that's cool. Oh my God, I'm in a lift, and I've smiled at him and so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. And me and Lee go to the back of the lifts, and all we hear, the doors are closing, and all we hear is like, hold the lift. So I can't do his accent. Fucking God knows what. And I'm thinking, I know that voice. I fucking know that voice. And my favourite films of like my favourite franchise is Rocky. Hands down, it's like no two ways about it. Rocky is like fucking brilliant. It is. So me and Leo are standing there, and we hear this voice like, hold the lift, and it's like a real voice. And he walks in, and it's like I'm stood there. And he says something to us like morning all or something like that. And I'm stood there thinking, hold on a second. I'm in a lift with fucking Apollo Creed. This is just unbelievable. And then we go up in the lift. They get out. We get out. And I'm like, Lee, that was fucking incredible. And he goes, oh, you haven't seen anything. And we walk into this room, and it's like a fucking green room. And there's fucking... the names escape me, but there's fucking Chewbacca.
So there was Famke Janssen, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
What's his face? Hawkeye. Fuck me. I've actually got the book. There was Rob Van Dam. What's his face? Scott Hall. There was loads of.
There was a lot of celebrities that we've grown up with, and they were like, they were megastars. I mean, they were sort of like in their own way. I don't get starstruck. I've done fucking TV shows. I've done film sets and things like that. But Apollo Creed was fucking the creme de la creme of my highlight. And then Lee goes and ruins it all, right, by sending me a picture of him and Apollo Creed and this other guy, some sort of chef that he's working with, right? And I'm like, are you still around? He's still around. He's like, oh no, he's left. So this is like giving with one hand the most amazing experience that I've received, and then turn around and say, "Fuck you, Gas! Look at what I've got." So, thankfully, you're.
Do you know? Do you know the best thing for me that day, and this is probably my guilty pleasure,
was spending time with Gashead Steve.
Gas, I'll do anything for you. I drove all the way from Essex over to your neck of the woods for a carbu at 6 a.m. Remember that?
Yes, you did. Yes, yeah, of course.
And many other things.
Yeah.
I met Rex Smith. Now that name probably means fuck all to anyone, but he was Jesse Mock, who was in Street Hawk. He was the Street Hawk character, the main geezer.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was like, to me, that was my guilty pleasure. I used to love that program, and I got him to sign the DVD. What made it worse for me, what really fucked me off, was his signature was like the worst one ever. It was and I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, fucking cunt. I'm gonna wash it off afterwards. Look, well, shit, it's more the DVD, the cunt.
So disappointing, isn't it? When you meet your heroes,
like,
it's like.
Oh. But yeah. See, Gas. Now I can take you into Barclays, and you can meet no one.
Great, mate. You come to the Financial Times. I'll get you to meet Boris when he's better.
Oh no, not for me.
While we're talking about meetups, you meet up with Shocks and that quite regularly, don't you, Gashead, and have a few meetups?
Yeah, so we've. I mean, again, nothing's really been planned. Well, tell a lie, something has been planned for this year, but obviously it's not going to happen. But yeah, no, we meet up quite a lot. Go to Western Supermare, go down to Bournemouth. Yeah, no, it's a good group that we're in. We do something, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but the Sunday Stroll with Colossal Vids.
I used to like that.
Yeah, who was Dan Central, Shocks, Interghost, me, Interghost's friend Paul, and Matt Metropolis. We all sort of like do like we haven't done it for a couple of years, but it's like pick 5 of your favorite franchises or pick 5 of your favorite games or whatever. So yeah, no, we really good bunch. It's like you know, like I was mentioning before, that you meet certain people through the internet, bearing in mind that we're at an age where the internet is a fairly new thing. New, like when I was 20, the internet was coming out. Do you know what I mean? So I had sort of all the playing football in the field and playing cricket and so on and so forth beforehand. So to meet fantastic people who I now class as like best friends is amazing. So yeah, we do meet up. Hey Pete, hey Shocks. They're always there, like a bad smell.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure your Facebook picture is with the famous one of Shocks' famous hats in it.
It is. It's a piss out. I've got a bit of stick off of that. So somebody's messaged me saying, I look simple. And
you do look like one of the dwarves from Snow White, I will admit.
I do. Yeah, gassy. But no, it's really. I mean, it's like a piss. I'm the first person to laugh at myself. 100%. It's like I'll laugh at myself. Not a problem at all. As soon as somebody laughs at me and not with me, I've got an issue. It's like the old Steve comes out. It's like, but whatever. Yeah, no, I do look like fucking what's his name out of Crossroads, Benny from Crossroads. But yeah.
You also mentioned Monkey Spaz. I've not seen him on Tubes for ages. I remember seeing you all sat together at Bury. There was you, Shocks, and Monkey Spaz. Yeah. Are you still in regular contact with him?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, another one of sort of like the gems of YouTube. But he's he's taken a bit of a sabbatical. However, he has got loads of streaming software, so I'm waiting for him to upload streaming. So he should be back anytime soon.
Wicked. We did have a question in the comments. It was a while ago from Dylan asking Lee about his Switch. He obviously said you're into your Switch. So if you want to elaborate, you've obviously been playing a bit of it. What you've been playing?
Yeah, well, I uploaded a video yesterday. I put it the greatest Switch collection ever or some shit like that.
Yeah, I saw all that. That's on my way to watch this. I'm expecting something special, and I reckon it's just going to be Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey.
Now, I worked out. I've got about over 30 games. I've got about 20 physical and about 10, 15 or whatever digital. And I've been playing. God, what? Well, like today, I can't think of the fucking name now. It's called something Riddled something Corpse EX. It's just like Cannon Fodder, and I shit you not, it's like Cannon Fodder but with zombies. And it's the angle, rather than being like top down, it's a slight. It's on a slight angle, so like when you're walking around, you're killing the zombies. It's and the front cover's two naked women basically. It's fucking all, well, not naked, but like in bikinis. It's pretty
Dylan
good.
will definitely have that then. I'd have thought Dylan would have had that.
I'm telling you, it's wicked. And the friends of Ringo, oh fuck me, Lee. Ringo something. It's like a fighting game. It's a bit like River City Ransom. That's it. Riddle Corpse DX. That's it. I'm telling you, that game is spot on. And I think I paid like £3 for it. It come down in price. Blazing Chrome. That game is, if you love Pro Protector or Contra, whatever takes your fucking fancy, that game is shit up. What else? I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, the actual old one, because I'm waiting, the fuckers, for my new one, and I'm waiting for my new Resident Evil 3. It hasn't fucking turned up. So
Everyone's already completed then now. They've all completed them. Everyone's completed Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy 7 now. There's no point getting it. Just watch it on YouTube.
Old news. New Resi 4 now.
But I need to put it on my shelf just to gather dust, just to piss off all the other fucking people, innit? So yeah, my Switch, I've been playing loads of Switch, like I said. Fuck, I can't even think now. I don't fucking know. I've just been playing it, innit? I don't fucking remember. Can't remember now.
That's sometimes the best way to be. Like, I'm not one of these people who's massively hung up on certain titles or anything. I just pick up a game and I'll just play it. If I enjoy it, I'll play it more. If not, it'll go back on the fucking shelf, never to be picked up again.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing, like I said before about the Switch, and mainly about Nintendo, is the pickup factor. I can pick up any game. Luigi's Mansion 3, classic. I love that game. Breath of the Wild, even I've clocked it about 15 times, I can still pick it up and start again. It's such a good game. I'm trying to think, well, the Coma. I downloaded that on the PS4, but I now got it on the Switch. It's like an anime horror kind of game. Listen, and especially with the Switch. There's so many cheap games in them on the eShop. I'm trying to think of the fucking games. Like I showed a load the other day. I can't remember half the fucking games, mate. I don't fucking know.
While we're on that, I really can't get my head around it. The only games I will buy that aren't physical copies, I like to own the disc, and it's an old-fashioned way of thinking on them. Is like your expendable things like FIFA and your CODs that I can pick up 10 a penny in 20 years' times. Other than that, I don't like having. Other than I suppose the free PlayStation games, but then I don't mind them because I'm not paying. But I don't like to part with my actual cash for something that I don't physically own, if you know what I mean. That's probably a weird way of looking at it.
No. Listen, you're bang on. I was exactly like you until I got the Switch, and games like The Messenger come out, which is fucking awesome. Bloodstained. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of games that come out, download first, and I couldn't wait. I can't wait for fuck all. If I know, you're
waiting for Resi 3 and Final Fantasy 7.
Ah, you fucker. But this will get drunk tonight. I can't just look at it. It needs to be drunk, innit? It's one of those things. If it's there, I want it. So I'd rather than like The Messenger, I could have got it. I remember it come out limited run games. I think it was £60, £80 or something. And I didn't order it. I was like, nah, fuck it. And now that one game is like 150, 160 quid. And I'm not paying that. Not just to sit on the shelf. I'm sorry. So, but if I can get it, like now, I would. There's a game on the Switch called Golf Story. It's an RPG, all right? It's a golf game, but it's weird as fuck. It's really, really good. And I think it cost me like a tenner digitally, and it's £130 like to buy. And it's not like it's a great, like if you play, it's not a great looking game. It's like a 16-bit standard graphic game, but I think limited run games, to me, I think as much as I like them, they're crafty on a lot of their shit. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, you've given Dylan plenty to talk about in the comments now because I think he's a CEO of Limited Run Games. If you've never met Dylan, that's Hyper Trigger X. He loves his Limited Run.
Well, I'll tell you something. I know we're talking about lots of shit here, lots of good stuff. Sorry. Can I stand Gashead? But what language is the other chat speaking? Now, let me tell you something about Woodland. Yeah, let me tell you this story about Woodland.
Right? Please do.
So, he's a midget, by the way. Yeah, he's fucking tiny.
Is he?
He's about 3 foot nothing. The mug. Don't
You
fucking have
fucking
it
joking me.
I'm telling you, he's a midget. I'm only 5'10". He's a midget. We went. Me and my brother went to Manchester.
He told me actually before you carry on. I remember who it was now. It was him who said, "Don't bother getting Retro Chef on. Get his brother on."
Right. So it was so funny. I've never met Woodland before, but we've messaged before and we've talked on MSN and all that kind of stuff. And he salt the earth. I'll give him my left arsehole if he wants it. Anyway,
probably have it.
He probably would, the dirty fucker.
He would take it.
Yeah, he would. We went to Manchester, and I saw him, and I was like, I've got to say hello to him. But I was like, fucking hell, am I pissed? Because it was like an angle. He was small, so I was getting closer, and I thought, fucking hell, he's a bit small. So I said, right, he goes, yeah. My brother was with me, and he was talking to my brother, like just having a laugh, all having a laugh. And then I gave him some games for free. Not like I'll with him for free. I said, look, I've got some games here. Anyone want to take anything? And I think he took a couple of games. I think they were like Pokemon copies or something in it. And he made a video that fucking night because he loves a wind up. And he said, oh yeah, I got these off Lee. Nice geezer, but his brother's better. Lee's a cunt. All these. He was probably mugging me off like a 2-bob on fucking the YouTube. And it was so funny. So every time I speak to him, I always tell him my brother Paul sends his love because it was just like the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. So that's why.
Yeah, he told me to get your brother on instead of him, so now I understand that little joke there now.
Yeah, it was because my brother's he's I don't know what the word is, fraud prevention. He's a bit like so what's it? So he used to work for one company, and if you had a family tree of people working, his name would be covered over and blacked out because if he came in the building, you knew something was happening. So that's what he was telling Woodland, and Woodland was like, oh, it sounds great, and all that. He was loving it. It was so funny.
Right, so we'll let Gashead tell us what he's been playing. I know a little bit, so we can talk about that.
So two games in particular. Spider-Man, which is absolutely fantastic. Such a good game. And FIFA, as you know, well, that's literally it. Those two games. Oh no, tell a lie. We played Gears of War or Gears 5. Completed that the other day. Good game. Buggy as hell though. It was quite painful sometimes. You would complete a level and then you wouldn't be able to do anything else because a door wouldn't unlock or something stupid like that. So buggy as hell, but great game. Spider-Man, fantastic, but yeah, as you know, FIFA.
Talk us about FIFA then, like, because obviously I talk about it, so let's have someone else's.
So basically, we play FIFA 19. I hold the team together, always up to. Sorry.
Nothing. I was just having a giggle then. I saw something funny text.
Good stuff. Silly Steve, Super Quintendo, Planet Retro. Vote for him as fucking YouTuber. Though I had to say that he paid me. Dane, obviously, me, and let's get gaming, Lee.
Let's get gaming. And Carl's room 7.
Yeah. And Carl. Great fun. I mean, like you know, again, obviously, like loads of football nuts all together. The banter's fucking wicked. The game's amazing, as you might expect, but really good fun. Yeah, and now Chris has shanked as well. He's joined the team, so.
Chris has joined today.
Yeah, great game, great banter. We're finding it quite hard, but yeah, good fun.
I think we were doing really well and having real banter, but I mean, myself included today, I come on and I just wasn't enjoying it. And
No,
that
today
probably,
was a stinker.
I just think I probably became as infectious because I was completely quiet on the mic because I was pissed off with myself, and it just had like a down vibe on everything, which was a shame really. But up until then, we'd been having some right good games and right laughs. But today was a non-event, but I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow putting things right.
It becomes a little, when you start losing, it becomes a little bit competitive and a little bit serious. You know, I put a message in the group saying like, right, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that. Am I overthinking it a little bit? It's a fucking game, and I think we're at that stage now. We've gone through a couple of leagues, we've pissed them to be fair, and now we're playing against good teams, and it's like I think we're struggling a little bit because everybody's got their own sort of like styles which don't really mix in a team. Big L. They don't really sort of like passing is essential. But no, it is the banter, but it's like you have to enjoy it. And it's like today, I think you're right. I think it was just a little bit. You enjoy it when you win. That's not a win. You know, we're all there to have banter together, but it's like when you're losing.
Gas.
Yeah, go on, mate.
He's put, you got a touch of a rapist. Fuck, what a cunt.
I just want to pick.
Do you know what? I would agree with him there. I would agree with him. I think he's right. I think like and like see each other. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
What?
I just think today, like I like to get the ball down and pass around, and I think because we weren't scoring, we were trying to force how we were playing, and then it became worse and worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I was guilty of bouncing around positions to play just to try and find my vibe that I'd been having the previous 3 or 4 days, and you almost stop. Like I say, I get FIFA fatigue. Like after 5 or 6 games, I'll start doing the same thing again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's not. It didn't work the first time. Yeah, 5 times down the line, it's like you're still doing the same mistakes because it's a force of habit. But
yeah. You almost go into autopilot with what you do. But then again, when I used to play football, actually as a competitive sport, I used to be guilty of doing that. Then, like you go to your almost like reflexes rather than thinking about what you're doing. Like you take the easy route. What I do want to just talk about is because Marcus said from Dad and Lads Gaming, it's a shame we've not got a way of sharing all our gamer tags with everyone. So actually yesterday, someone set up a Discord for not just for me, for everyone to use. And Discord is basically like a big chat room, so anyone can join. You don't have to expose your mobile number to anyone. I'm an admin in there. Latency Depot set it up, the guy who found all the stuff in the shed. So I'll just share that link below. If anyone wants to join, I'll obviously police it for stupidity. But, it's just for talking games. There's no politics bollocks in there. No religious bollocks in there. It's just purely for games. So if you're going to fuck about, I'll kick you out. But if you want to go in there and share your gamer tags, I will just put the banner up for you to join. Obviously, I can't approve anyone at the moment. But if you want to join that Discord channel, it's for talking retro games. There's no... See, I was a bit dubious about Discord because I know a lot of people who have their Patreons and stuff have Discord, and I thought it was a paid service. It's not. It's completely free. Anyone can go in there and chat about video games. Obviously, share your gamer tags. Tell everyone what you're playing. It's just a hangout, much like this is a hangout for us for 2 hours on a night. That's a 24/7. So you don't have to join if you don't want to. It's just another alternative to WhatsApp. So anyone who wants to get in there, that's the link. So it's just another way of bringing everyone together. Because I know not everyone is comfortable with giving out their mobile numbers. So at least there you can just go in there, set up an ID, and there you go. Latency Depot is in the comments. He's the main admin, and I'm the second one. And we'll so Pete, no religion, no politics. So there's no point in you joining. That's old school. So
I'll join that.
No, it's just because I'm in 15 million fucking WhatsApp groups. Phil, I have to remember which one I'm talking FIFA in, which one I'm talking fucking gaming in, and just fucking remember everything. Whereas here, this is for everyone. As I say, I won't stand for any shit. Should post in chat to be able to copy the link. I'll see if I can do that in a minute. If someone wants to type it, it should be able to come in. If not, I'll do it in a sec when I give Gashead and Lee another question. So, Gashead, you've been away from YouTube. Is there any plans to come back? And Lee, obviously, you've just coming back. What's the plan for your channel in the future? So, if Steve wants to go first.
Yeah, I think in regards to YouTube, I've never really fallen out of love with it as such. It's always just been a time thing for me. Being off, I've done what have I done? I've done 2 videos since I've been off, I think. So, yeah, the buzz is still there. The love is still there. The community feel is still there for me. It's just time, really. I think that's what it all boils down to. But I would love to come back in. It's finding content as well to do so. So, yeah, there's definitely plans to come back. I'm not a lost cause. I'm coming back.
Because have you got a separate channel on Gashead's Graveyard for your VHS and that?
So Gashead's Graveyard Shift. That's just horror. I did think about turning that into a movie channel. I'm not a big sort of like. I don't really like having 2 channels as such. However, it's a case of I do appreciate the people that followed me on Gashead Steve or Gashead 66 start off with, not necessarily all into films. So it's a case of, and certainly horror as well. I didn't think that was right to like plug that on a channel that was based around games.
What I'd say, Steve, man, is my attitude with my channel is okay. It is predominantly gaming and playing games, but I talk about most things I pick up, and I think people tune in for you more so than they probably do your content. So you could merge them. Obviously, they're 2 separate entities now, but I'd watch both, to be honest. But and I almost think, you know how people say like gaming and toy collecting is one thing. I also feel the nostalgia for VHS. It's all that nostalgia of growing up. It could all be put under one heading, really, for me.
I do agree. I mean, the reason for setting up Gashead's Graveyard Shift was horror, and it was always going to be horror. So it was like a subtext menu of films, that type of thing. So that's why I separated. But I do totally agree with you, and I'm very much like, it's my channel. I'll put whatever I want on my channel, and if you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. Happy days. But there's a few channels that I used to watch back in the day that completely changed, completely sort of like went from this to that to this to that, and the channels looked like a mess. And it was like, so when I used to follow such and such, there'd be a fucking shit video coming up, and I was like, no, skip. So yeah, that's what I did. But I do agree with you in regards to, it's your channel, you watch it for whoever it is, me, Lee, yourself. So yeah, there is an element of that.
Yeah, no, well, there's a few people in the comments. I can see Rob Gernaldino, he's into his horror films, which I didn't know till we brought that up. Because you don't always know what everyone, like, we all know we're into gaming because that's our main draw, but other people are into other sub genres that they're into as well. Like, obviously, I'm a horror fan myself. So, Lee, what about your channel? What's the plan for the future?
Well, let me just go back to 3 weeks ago. I was on a live stream with Pete on a retro tip. I always fucking say his name wrong. I'm a cunt.
One Trip Pete.
One
Trip, that's his channel name, isn't it? One Trip Pete.
No, it's the YouTube sensation.
The YouTube sensation.
Yeah, because I'll tell you a story about that as well later on, and it's fucking hilarious.
I can't wait for that either. He's in the comments as well.
Yeah, I saw. So basically, I was on his stream a couple of weeks ago with Sega Saturn lad Scott, another good YouTuber. I love him to pieces. Cindy Steve, Romford Pele, I should say, and a few other people. And I said something that I shouldn't have said, and I want to retract it.
You like Gashead? Is that what you said?
No, listen, Gas and me, we go back. Like he knows about me. So I said that the YouTube community for me was pretty much dead. All right. But what I was trying to say was, but my fucking phone cut off. I was trying to say that, like Champ Manager, what you've been playing, Danester, you play 97, 98, Ian Wright, Dennis Burkamp, they retire. Yeah. And then you get a new player. What I was trying to say is that the community that I was brought up in, or whatever you want to say, that kind of there's a few stragglers who are still carrying on, and there's the majority of them, they've moved on. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Not in anything bad, just they've just moved on. However, the last week and a half, I found so many great YouTubers. I don't want to say up and coming because they're all of an age, but there's some great tubers. You know, Gennardino, Planet Retro, Happy Triggy X, Retro Bear, TNT Flashback, Mark Twiggo, Pete Fighter 2. There's one I wanted to say and I forgot his fucking name there. Nate's Retro. There's a group of them. Retro Game. Was it Revived or Relived or something?
Revived, yeah, Sean.
Great. Like, and if it wasn't for them, I don't think as well. And yourself, Dane. So please tip your hat to Dane. He's done a fucking blinder the last couple of weeks, and I'm glad I've met you before. Yeah, we didn't really talk, but I feel like, you know, I'd class
because your fucking exhaust was too fucking noisy. I hope you've got that fixed.
My exhaust is even fucking louder, mate. He's even fucking louder. That's another story. But I think the community is growing again. So like the people like the Gasheads, the Tooties. I don't want to class myself in that because I didn't do fucking too much. But the Dazzies, the Shock 16s, all those guys, the ones who have planted the seeds, other people have watched them and now they're flourishing, or they're all coming along. Sounds like I'm a fucking gardener, but it's the truth. All these little channels all sprouted up because of the guys like Gas, like Daz, like Tootie, like Pete. You know, all these great channels who I love to watch, and I class them as friends, makes it even better. So with my channel, unfortunately, it's all about pickups, which I can't fucking do. However, I'm going to do some on my game collections I'm going to talk about a couple of games. I've got a massive VHS collection. I don't really talk about that. I've got a massive anime collection, manga collection on VHS. So I've got plenty of content. So hopefully I can push it this year and have a little laugh in it. You know, meet some more people like-minded, have a joke and have a laugh. And that's about it, fella.
You are spot on there, mate. To watch these channels that you've just mentioned and see their passion and their sort of interest that we had when we were starting off. And it's like you say you don't class yourself in that. You are part of that. But it's like to see that what we used to do back then. And then obviously you kind of move on. You try to evolve. But when you try to evolve, you maybe lose a bit of the passion that when you started, the bit of sort of like oomph and, you know, I really want to make a video because I've got this pickup and so on and so forth. You lose that because you're trying too hard. And to watch all these channels you've just mentioned is, it's a great thing for the community and a great thing for YouTube and a great thing for the UK YouTube scene as well, I think.
There was a lot of mention that YouTube was dying. What I will say is that seems to happen most years, that YouTube goes quiet at Christmas, which is kind of why I made that my goal, that when Christmas came around, that was where I was going to try and bring my channel back, because I took time out due to having my house rewired. My house was a mess. I've said that before. And I previously took time out when my parents were ill. They're still fucking ill, but fucking when they were really bad and I was looking after them, I took that time before. But what I noticed is not so much there was a divide, but there was the people who had all knew each other from back in the day were there, and the people who were up and coming were there. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always a few channels like your Tooties, like your Pete who mention these channels, but sometimes the new channels don't get linked in as much. So my goal was, even before I started this stream, is I class myself in the middle, because I started somewhere in the middle of all that. Is I just thought maybe I could be the person who brings everyone together, because I think the place is much better with everyone together. And that was my goal. And then when obviously the lockdown happened, I thought maybe I could do something.
Dane, stop you there, mate. You've done just that. You
Mate,
really have.
Dave,
You've
you've
done
done a great job.
You've done what you've set out to do, because literally my feeling towards YouTube has changed completely. And like Lee just mentioned, you've introduced us to, via the chat and everybody getting involved, to new channels with that passion. So fucking hats off to you, mate.
No, thank you. And to be honest, I could understand as well why people thinking YouTube was changing, and I think that's because somewhere between when you guys started and where we are today, some other channels got diverted, and like a lot of new channels come along who wanted to do it as a career. Now I've said this many a time that maybe there should be some sort of, if you want to be one of those people who make money from YouTube and have it as solely as your income, then maybe people who want to watch that should pay a premium for that service, like a Netflix subscription or something like that. But if you want to keep it just amateur and stuff like we're doing, then we should have our own corner where we can be found as well. Because I think a lot of us get lost in the 20 million uploads of the people who are trying to do it as a job. And that's no criticism to them, because they're doing the grind and they're trying to earn. And I don't agree with Patreon, but I agree with anyone who wants to make money off Google or YouTube as a company. I'm quite happy with that. But I do worry that people who are starting out, who are just doing it genuinely a hobby, can get lost because of the flood of all the other amount of content. Is my opinion.
Yeah,
Dave,
definitely.
Sorry, Gas, can I just say one name? Because I said it before, but I don't think you heard me. Retro Bear, I said your name, fella, and I think your channel's great. You're like, I'm not going to say the dad, you're like the uncle of YouTube. That sounds nicer.
I'm going to throw this out there. Yeah, everyone said Russ is the most politest man on YouTube. Russ reminds me of being like a vicar. If he had a collar or something, he could be like a Reverend Bear. That's what he should be called.
And there's one channel I started watching, and I'm so shit. I keep saying to myself, I'm going to write these names down when I do my videos. I'm going to say them. And it's is it the Bird Game Room? Is it the Bird Game Room or
Game Zone Bird Room? James, I want to give him a shout out because he's just gone over 100 subs.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be honest, right? James's intro is the thing that got me. His fucking Game Zone Bird Road intro had me in fucking hysterics. But what has come out, right, is that he's a genuine and fucking nice guy. And I'd rather watch a million of his videos than someone who's trying to force me to pay to watch their fucking live stream of fucking Call of Duty Warzone and flick the legs in the air. And I'd rather watch a million of his videos over something like that.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know. I can't think of the Gebs' name. But also want to congratulate Gernaldinho, who's gone over 600 subs, I believe. I'm not there yet, and I may never get there. And it really, I mean, no fucks. I give no fucks. I'd class all my subs as friends. They're not fans or anything like that. They're people who I interact with. And if I got to too many, I'd start giving less of a fuck about some here. I'll be honest.
Well, Dane, I only just went over 500, and it's been like 10 years. So 50 a year, I'll take that.
Yeah, I always remember when I first did a video, I couldn't believe people were watching. I was thinking, fucking hell, is there that many bored people watching me show?
They must be fucking bored, innit? Must not be paying for their TV license.
I think most of my views come after midnight with the insomniacs.
Let me tell you about the story with Pete on the retro.
Please do, please. Any story on Pete is welcome. Sir Pete, we'll be calling him Sir Pete soon.
Listen, Pete, I love him as well. I've got a lot of love for a lot of tubers. So we went to Doncaster. Okay. Now, I'm a shit passenger. So normally 90% of the time I have to drive or I don't go. I'm terrible. All right. So Satan Saturn lad Scott wanted to go. He doesn't live too far away from me. So he came to my house. He left his car here. We then drove over to northwest London, picked up Peter. I don't know if he still lives where he was before. I picked him up, and we had a fucking good laugh in the car. We got to the show. We got to the event. Daz was there. Cyber Snake J as well. I want to say big shout out to him as well. Another pillar of the community, along with Retro Dave Nintendo and Nintendo Arcade, by the way. So Shock 16. No. I love him. He's gonna fucking blister me. Well, so we got to Doncaster, saw all the people, all the normal people normally there, and all of a sudden, all of these like, I don't know what to say what they was. All right, these people were coming over to Pete. Oh hi, Pete, I'm such and such. Are you're British pet? Mate, he was getting swamped by people, and they were giving him stuff, gifting him stuff, and all this. And me and
Groupies,
Scott,
we call them. Groupies, we call them.
Well, these groupies I would not be interested in anyway. And me and Scott could not stop laughing. It was like, and I said to Pete, "Fuck me, mate." I said, I'll put you in the front seat if you want. You can fucking drive the car. Oh, it was hilarious. It was the funniest thing I've seen in my life. And bless him, he's he's another diamond. I mean, you know, it's a shame we don't live closer. Some of us don't live closer because some of these people I've met, I would want to be with all the time. Literally, there's so many tubers that when I get off here tonight, I'll be like, oh fuck, I didn't say his name. You know, like Novabug. I met Novabug the first time with you, Gas, and you brought He Who We Shall Not Name, and to Manchester, and was it Chris Barry was there?
Chris Barry was there, yeah.
And
yeah.
Novabug was like,
and Boba Fett or whatever, wasn't it? He
Joe,
himself might be named.
That's the magic of YouTube, I guess. That interestingly to bring me on to my next question. Let's talk a bit about meetups, like, because obviously I met you two guys the first time in person, or very briefly, was at Bury, and you know, I always go to these events expecting no one to really know who I am. I'm not that kind of person. I always think people know me more for my selling my shits at the markets than they do for me doing YouTube. But just talk about, like, obviously your first meetups and stuff like that, you know, how it all went. Because, like, obviously you went to some of the real big ones that before I attended, although Bury was probably the biggest, maybe, I don't know. Let Gashead go first, because you talk all that fucking wildly.
I know, mate. I'm fucking terrible. I'm so sorry, man.
Let me have a say.
Sorry, Gas.
That's right, mate. The first one I went to was a Western Supermare with Shocks and Ghost, Dan. That was a good laugh. Rich King Retro went to that as well. But
did Rich King Retro have some cake and custard? Because he fucking sulks like fuck if he doesn't.
No, we had some ice cream and fucking pizza, I think. That's his other thing, isn't it?
Such a skinny fucker for the amount of shit he eats. It's unreal.
Sideshow Bob.
No, that was a nice meet up. I'm not really one of those YouTubers that like to sort of like. I don't like people coming up to me. If the truth be known, I don't mind it, but if I don't know, it's like if somebody that I know and I've interacted comes up to me, then great, happy days. I think Russ will come into this conversation. I went to I think it was Manchester actually, and me and Russ have been talking online, but Russ wasn't doing anything in front of the camera. And I think a week before he'd done a Meet the Trooper with Daz, which I didn't watch until after Manchester. And then me and Russ were talking. I used to run something, I'll do a series called fucking hell, what was it called? What was it called, Lee? Desert Island Films.
Yes, which I never done.
There would be me and another YouTuber talking about films, the top 10 films, basically top 10 films, take on to Desert Island with them. And we were talking, we were arranging like, you know, a stream so we could get together and talk about it. Russ, bless him, came up to me in Manchester and said like, oh, hi, Steve, you're right. Yeah, I haven't done this, but it'd be great to have a chat with you later on. And I'm completely oblivious to this, and it's not a bad thing, I guess. Like in regards to, but I'm very like, oh, somebody's come up to talk to me, so on and so forth, and I'll go away and analyze it, and I'll think to myself, oh, that might have been such and such. So I was looking at Russ with a blank face. I must have been so sort of like dismissive of him, which was really bad. So. And then I went away thinking, "Oh shit, that might be Russ." Yeah, that's Russ.
So Russ was probably the first tuber I met to speak to after I'd started doing YouTube, and it was when I was selling at the Doncaster market. And I didn't give a fuck because I'm quite good mates with Russ now, and I think, "Fucking hell, he's small.
He's tiny, isn't he? He is tiny." But no, the actual meetups are great. I mean, like, you know, when you get to know people and you get to talk to people, and then you meet them in real life and you realise that they're exactly the same as they are on their videos, or exactly the same as they are on their live streams. It's amazing. But I'm not an office type person. I just like to know. I like to be in control of things. Sounds really fucking over the top, doesn't it? But it's like when somebody
What,
comes
like
over,
the FIFA team and how we play?
maybe a little bit. But yeah, no, yeah, the meetups are great, and like I said, you know, right at the very start, it's like I've met some fantastic people. So, and Russ is one of them, gratefully. So, yeah, no, good stuff.
I think we're going to have one hell of a meetup after this, whatever the first one is.
We've got to, haven't we?
I think so. I think so. And it'll be I think it'll be biblical. I think it'll go down more so than the coronavirus in fucking history.
No, I agree. I agree.
So what about you with the events then, Lee? When you finish sending your text or whatever you do, mate, you're fucking on my show here. So show some damn respect.
I'm messaging on the page.
Okay.
So the first group of people was Gas, Daz, and Ocarina Fella. Gas, Rocky 3 or Rocky 4? Anyway.
Always.
So, so when I first met Gas, we got on, we switched, and he made a video. And don't fucking lie. We switched. You touched me. I liked it. It's all done. Anyway, he made a video, and I've saved it. It's on my watch list, and it's like he done a video saying he met me, and then he played the Only Fools and Horses music at the end. All right, because obviously Bill.
Yes, I did.
It was like because I walked in with all this stuff and. Yeah, man, it was good times. I went to Manchester a couple of times, met a lot of people there. Obviously went to Bury, where the fuck it is, Dane's.
Bury.
Yeah, that fuck. Anything north of Watford is fucking gone to me, mate.
Is that where you're from, Dane?
You are?
Is that where you're from?
Me, Bury.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Dudley.
He's from Dudley.
Mate,
I'm from Dudley. I am.
Good. I'm glad because Bury's a shithole. An absolute shithole.
I've got a story right about because, like, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a bit infamous for going on the piss whenever we go to these events. Like, you know,
Never.
I like to have a couple of drinks, and I remember we went into this one, the very first bar we went into. I don't know if it was Russ or it was Craig Minks, and like because I'm not backwards in going forwards, they were getting me to ask all the locals, "Where's good to go in Bury?" And they all went Manchester. Every person there. I said, "Where's good to go in Bury?" Manchester. I went, "Okay, other than Manchester, where's good to go in Bury?" Back to your fucking hotel.
But Minks is the top guy.
Yeah, Minks. Good analogy.
He's been around the block as well.
Yeah, well, I like going on drinking with Sean, you know, Fagan 500 or whatever he fucking is, who don't do videos anymore, lazy bastard. And Minks, he's lazy, but I don't know. There's like a group of us who've become, I don't want to say the piss edge, but we are. We go to the events mainly for the drink as well as the games. And I always remember the first time I met Craig Super Quintendo. He goes, you've been drinking all day. He goes, and you're the last person to go home on the night. He goes, it's like you've entered the Royal Rumble at number 1 and you're number 30 and you've won the lot. But what the running joke is you know, Rob, who's been on the stream twice, Stu and mine, I call him my friend now. It absolutely disgusts him when I get up in the morning the next day and I'm fresh as fuck, ready to go again. He goes, it's inhuman. I said, what it is I said, I think I've got a really slow metabolism. I said, because come Wednesday when I'm at home, and it'll just hit me like a train and I'm fucked. But I do like my drink. I've got even worse since I've been doing these streams.
Well, you know, I like going to the shows, but I don't like staying over. I'm terrible. I have to be in my own bed. Even if I get home at 4 a.m. and I have to wake up at 5 to go to work, I'll do that. I'm terrible about staying away. And that's always been my problem. Not even with this stuff, with anything else. I'm terrible at staying away. So I normally get up early, banzai up to wherever I've got to go, spend some time there, and then get home in it. That's how I've always been. So I don't normally drink at the shows, to be fair. So I normally just drink at home.
Gruss brought up bringing back that thing you did with the 10 movies for a start, and he's also asked this question. But I think it'd be good if you brought that back, because you've got a whole new group of YouTubers now who would be happy to join in.
Yeah,
they love their
VR. Right, Gas.
Yeah, I'm game for that. And anybody game for sitting on the toilet and telling me stories as well? That's always a good one.
I said, I think I sold Gruss Newton a Mega CD game, Keo Flying Squadron, I think it was. And back in the day when you used to write notes into your parcels, I gave him my hot chocolate fondant recipe. It's very famous hot chocolate fondant recipe. And I always said to him, did you make it? But I don't know if he ever did. So Gruss, you need to let me know if he's any good.
I hope he hasn't, mate. I'll send you a video later of Gruss Newton cooking burgers. There's two people who I'm worried about in the community who are not coping with lockdown. Gruss Newton is one of them, and Steve Addy Sneaker Freak is the other. They're not fucking coping. I have to message them on the hour. So what's this Tinder edition anyway that keeps coming up in the comments, Steve? I feel I need to know.
So I'm not much of a storyteller, mate. So I will just tell you this. I made a video, and it was a bit of a piss take video of a pickup video. It literally just a pickup video. But the camera was zoomed right into my face, and it was literally like me picking up things out of focus and so on and so forth. And Gruss has saved it as his favourite video of all time or something. So, mate, anybody out there, go back on my videos and find out. I think it's called My First Pickup Video, but it was a complete and utter piss take. And I'm talking to somebody off of camera, and yeah, it's when I was funny.
I think it's still are funny. You know what? Those sort of videos are my favourite. As I said to Pete when Pete was on, I love his sub for sub video. Why I hate sub for subs, because I think it was some of his best work. Some of his best work I do. And I think sometimes when you're not when you're being passionate about something like that, you could see it shone through with his sarcasm and his wit. That was brilliant to me.
That's what I was saying about all these new channels coming through and seeing their passion. It's like, I remember that. I remember doing that video in particular. It's like what Russ is talking about, and it was literally just the passion of what I'm seeing, and just like completely taking it from one extreme to the other, and taking the piss out of myself doing it. And it's just like that passion is coming back, which is great.
Good man.
Good.
You know what? I think I said yesterday, or maybe not yesterday, because I didn't do one yesterday, the day before. I think although we're in dark times, obviously with people losing their life and everything, that's sad. But I think as a country, we could come out of this all a little bit better. I've said with people who I've seen on the street, people who I've walked past a million times and never said hello to, they now say hello.
Yeah.
I've got family. Like, I'm not someone who doesn't get on with my family, but I don't speak to them as much as I probably should. Whereas now I am, we're messaging each other regular. Like, obviously, I work with my dad, so I see him a lot, and I speak to him 4 or 5 times a day on the phone and stuff like that. I just think maybe it might be a wake-up call for some of us to say, like, you know, are we doing the right things in life? Are we prioritising the right things? And also, a lot of people like yourselves, you said you didn't find time for YouTube, whereas probably now you can. Maybe it'll give that love back and do something you enjoy, and maybe find that time in the future now. Because let's be honest, what we do doesn't need. I mean, Steve, I've seen your setup, man. You could fucking do something. You do some superb stuff, and you can do with the tech you've got. But just to do a video to put yourself out there and say, "Look, I'm still here," get people interactive. I think that's all we need to do now at our level. We don't need to aim for the heights. If we get the heights, great. If not, we should be happy with where we are, sort of thing.
There's one thing
keeping it realistic, isn't it?
One at a time. Let the other go first this time, because he hasn't talked much.
No. I said no. Sorry, Lee. Sorry.
Lee,
go.
You want me to talk? You sure?
Yes, you can go first.
All right, because I haven't spoke much this fucking night. You fucking wanker. I'll tell you something for definite, mate. The amount of fucking gold people will be finding in their houses to sell at car boots would be unreal. The amount of shit I've seen people have been sharing on like Facebook recently, and obviously you can't really go and collect it, but especially around this way, there's been some proper gold being pulled out of people's asses. I'm telling you. So can't wait for the car boots.
What about you, Steve? Do you think as long as like obviously no one wants any tragedy in their own family and to try and avoid it if they can, but do you think there's some light at the end of the tunnel for the country? Maybe it could be the shake up the whole human race could have been needing. Maybe.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I completely agree. I've got strong views on this, and it's a case of like, I think it's the reset button, and not in the sort of people dying, and that's unfortunate and that's sad and so on and so forth. But I think it does open people's eyes to what's important. I remember the first week I was off, and it was like I was spending loads more time with my wife, and it's like, without sounding like a sap, love her to bits, but I just take her for granted. And I think you take people for granted, you take friends for granted, you take what's out there for granted. It's like I would never, if I was at work now, I would never be playing FIFA with you guys. And it's like that has been a highlight of my day. Obviously, as today's been a bit rocky, but it's like and the stream, I'd be too tired to be in bed by now. Do you know what I mean? It's like this has been a great sort of like experience. And I think like when I say experience, I don't mean sort of like a mega sort of woo. It's been great to get grounded and talk to like-minded people and friends, so I think it minus all the deaths and things like that and the tragedies, and I think it's definitely highlighted what the NHS do. I think it's highlighted what we as a country are capable of. I think it's brought us back together and back grounded as we should do. Yeah, reset button.
Talking of the NHS, it shows how much we take the fucking piss out of it. Because I tell you what, A&E's not fucking full at the moment, is he? With people in there with a fucking sore ankle.
With people with a fucking nosebleed and things like that. Yeah, mate, totally.
But why? But you do know that them sort of people, once it fucking does finish, they were. I hope mainly the good people change their habits. It's unfortunate that if the fucking idiots survive, they probably won't, and they will go back to doing the exact fucking same thing again.
Yeah.
And really, the NHS.
Let's hope there's a bigger percentage of, like you said, decent people that actually see it for what it is and, rein it back in. So,
I mean, I've always been one of them who avoid going to A&E anyway, because usually the main time I need to go is when I've injured myself playing football. So that means I'm turning up and they're making me wait anyway.
Yeah.
Or I just don't. I don't like feeling an inconvenience. If I think I can fucking, if I can weather the storm myself, I'll always try and do it. Like I avoid painkillers and shit like that if I can. I always try and weather that storm.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate.
The last time I went to hospital was my daughter when she was born, and that was 10 years ago. So I don't go.
Nah. Marcus has said there's still idiots out there doing now, but there always will be. But what I'll say is, if they're the idiots who out there now, let's hope they're the idiots that fucking catch it, and the normal people can fucking avoid the collateral.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing, isn't it? They're the ones that will fucking survive it all, and the decent people will fucking get it. That's how it happens, and
that's the way it's always been. Like always, as I joke, man. 8 o'clock, I usually have the firework for the drugs drop off around by me. Because I still live on the same council estate that I live on. I've lived on all my life, just round the corner from mum and dad. And you see them, the fucking wasters who haven't fucking worked a day in their life, the smackheads and that. But they'll live for fucking ever.
Yeah.
They will. They're like immune to it. And like, unfortunately, the normal fucking people are the ones who become collateral.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, we're into the last 5 minutes. And I'd just like to finish with like a message from each of you. So, if Lee wants to go first, then you, Gashead, and then I've got a final question for Gashead before he goes.
Everyone stay safe. Danes to keep this up. Hopefully I'll get another opportunity to come on and fuck you guys off. Just thanks to everyone. All my new subscribers, everything else. Hopefully I can do a little bit more this year, keep you guys interested. Hope everyone in themselves is good. All the new YouTubes and stuff, it's been great. Gas, I love ya. I want to see you soon, brother. I know, man. Rocky 4. Yeah, just Dane's the man. Fucking hell. Good luck to you, fella. I hope you the YouTube of the year and all that shit. You get it all sorted and all get it over it and all that jazz. We haven't spoke about that because I've never been nominated and all that bollocks. But I hope
Lee wants a nomination. Whoever wins, Lee wants a nomination. He will pay with food.
Mate, if I'm telling you now, if I got nominated for that, there is something fucking wrong with you lot. I'm telling you that for nothing. But no, good luck to you, Dane. Good luck to you, fella. You've done a great thing. Out of everyone, out of all the people who I thought would have done this, I never thought you would have done it personally, because obviously what I've seen with you do one thing, and now you've done this. Legend, mate. Salt of the earth. So good luck to you. Gas, I love you. Dane, love you too, mate. You take it easy. And thank you for the opportunity for coming on and having a laugh. So, yeah.
Thank you for being on, Lee. And a message from you, Steve, before my final question to you.
Do you remember the end of Police Academy when Steve Guttenberg or Mahoney gives that big long speech?
Yes.
You remember that? Yeah. I'm gonna do the Hightower thing and say exactly what Leeds just said. Exactly what Leeds said. Stay safe. Love you all. My YouTube career has been a bit of a roller coaster, up and down. But everybody that's like been in the community, yeah, great stuff. And Dane, top man.
Thank you very much. Final question: what time are we playing FIFA tomorrow?
I know, 10 o'clock tonight, isn't it?
After this stream.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to drop you backstage, but want to say thanks for coming on. You've been great guests.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
I think you'll all agree we've had another 2 quality guests on tonight. It's really flown by. A little bit of different talk tonight, a bit of talk about movies. I hope you've all enjoyed that. You know, reflection on our nostalgia and our past. And I just want to finally just link the Discord channel again. As I say, it's just a chat group that everyone can join, have a little bit of a laugh, share your user tag so we can game online together. If it gets too serious, I will kick your fucking ass out of there. I've not found a stream to fucking raid tonight, so I'm sorry for that. But we will raid one the next time. So I'm off. I've got 2 great guests on again tomorrow, and I hope you'll all tune in. Take it easy.